Well, fishers, I know it's the opening of the cod season and everything's cranking as far as the cod goes, in theory, but there is still a few other species out there. For example, trout, Dartmouth Dam, quite good. Getting a few reports from the Albury boys. They tell me it's still fishing okay down there. The fish are a little bit on the lean side compared to what they were, but they're still in good numbers. Most people are going down there, they're trolling them. They're a little bit deeper than they have been, probably due to some of the weather we've had over the last couple of days. The barometer's been a little bit lower, been a bit breezy on the surface, that sort of thing, but that barometric pressure seems to affect them a great deal. So they're going down lead line, down riggers, that sort of thing will cover the options extremely well. So as you can see, Dart's worth the effort. All the Vic streams are fishing well. The Middle River's got a bit of water going down it. Probably be okay, especially if you're bait fishing. I'd suggest using crickets for bait. Live crickets in particular will do the job nicely. Float them down unweighted or under a bubble float. I think you'll find you get some good results doing that. Hume Weir. It's still happening down there. They're still getting plenty of good yellow belly out of it. Trolling seems to be okay. Soft plastics, little 3-inch black grub seems to be still cranking along nicely. So I'd put in a bit of time down there if I was you, because some of the redfin they're catching are quite good size. Small yabbies, really small yabbies will do the job extremely well. So it's certainly worth it. The Hume Weir is probably my first choice out of the whole area at the moment. Haven't got a lot of reports from a whale. It's been a little bit blowy down there. The big comp's on this weekend. Hopefully the weather will calm down for that. But I think you'll find that if it's windy, it's going to be a bit of a task. But there has been the odd few cod getting caught. Got a couple of mates down there. They've got a few up around the 70, 75 centimetre, but they've been struggling and battling against the wind. And again, that low barometer. A bit of activity in the river up here, quite a few cod getting caught, a lot of undersized stuff, a lot of very small trout cod, so they must have a breeding run last year, and these are last year's stock by the looks of things, so it looks quite promising for the future, and it's been fantastic anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Lots of fish getting caught. They're getting a few yellow belly in the river, more so than they normally do, so I'm really happy with that at the moment. Now the river's plenty clear enough to spin. It looks very, very good. Old Man Creek's worth the effort. They're getting a few on bait down there, also getting a few on lures. If you're going down to the river and you want to do a bit of lure fishing, trolling is definitely worth the effort at the moment as well, so it looks real promising. Tumut River's high, pretty hard to fish, but there is a few trout coming out of it. Getting some very good reports out of Blowering as far as the yellows go. Trolling, casting, bait fishing, it doesn't matter. There has been a few cod caught, but it's not quite the opening of the season we thought it would have been, simply because we've gone away from the full moon at the moment. The barometer's dropped a little bit, it's been a bit breezy, and we've had that little bit of cold weather come through. Believe it or not, it actually snowed at Falls Creek the other day. Pretty hard to believe this time of year, but it did, and that's where that cooler wind's coming from. We're getting a little bit of a cool breeze come through, and it's kept the temperatures down a bit, so it's slowed the start of the cod season a little bit, but look, it's going to go crazy, I can tell you now. Haven't got a report worth talking about from Talbingo, but Yukonbee and Tintangro Jindabyne are all fishing quite well. Burrinjuck is very, very good. There's been a few cod getting caught there, but the conditions are a bit harsh up there at the moment as well. It's been quite windy. The biggest cod I've heard of in the last couple of days out of the Juck's about 75 centimetres, but there is quite a few yellow belly getting caught. There's a group up there that I know of in 2 baits. They've got 17 cod, 30 yellow belly in the last couple of days, and most of these been trolling and casting. Haven't heard it too much on bait there. Wagga Dam, bit of activity there. So as you can see, there is plenty of activity around us, and it's certainly worth the effort at the moment. No excuse to stay at home this weekend. Get out there and get stuck into it. This is the Complete English Fishing Report for this week. Catch you again next week.